Right, well, where to start? This is probably Big Dave's last fishing trip, I think. Dave's gone, unfortunately, completely blind. Haven't you, Dave? Eh? And his back legs because of going, but he's been the best fishing companion ever. And he's been a lucky mascot, haven't you, Dave? You've caught some massive fish. He's got his hot water bottle under at the moment. We've come up Boatpool to visit it one last time with Dave. And lo and behold, first thing in the morning, what goes and happens? Rod roars off. I've got 30 plus mirror in the net. You've done it again, Dave. Well done, big man. Have a cup of tea. It's just boiling up here, and then we're going to go and weigh the fish. But it's been a pleasure being out on the bank with this dog once again. You're a legend, Dave, aren't you? I can't believe. Rocked up at the boat pool, freezing cold January day. Gone and banked to whacker. Legend, mate. High five, Dave. Give a high five. No. There you go. High five. Did it again, mate. Well done. Right, Dave. What have you caught? You got one. Here we go, people. Dave's done it again. It's not quite as big as I thought. I haven't weighed it yet, but stunning mirror. It's nice to be out on the bank with you again, bud. Yeah. Looking appreciative. Okay. Really nice to be back on the bank. It's been quite a while. Oh, look at that. Lovely cold water mirror. Hey Dave, what do you think? You can't see it anymore, can you? Blind as a bat. It's a nice one though, mate. You'll be happy with it. Good boy. Right, get away quickly and then we'll slip it back. But what a result. Well done, Dave. High five, bud. You give us a high five? No? Just come. Oh. Come down here with you, big man. So as I mentioned earlier, this is probably Dave's last fishing trip for me. He was struggling quite a bit last night with the cold. He can't stand up very well, he can't move very much. Not that you moved very much in the first place, did you, Dave? Hey? Love a bed share. But yeah, he's completely blind. He had a bit of an incident last night. He wandered out the bivvy last night. He's on the leads, and I thought I had the leads sort of set at the right distance, but he wandered out the bivvy and just went straight forward. And you fell over the sleeper at the front of the swim, didn't you? And luckily it's not very deep there, it's only about 6 inches deep, but you went straight in, didn't you? Straight in for a swim. Had to come and rescuing a 14-stone dog is not that easy, but we got you out, didn't we? We got you out. Bit of an adventure. But yeah, been the best fishing dog ever. When I got him, I think he was 4 months old when I was working at FLE, and rocked up. I was working with Tom, obviously, at the time. Me and him were sort of like inseparable at the lakes, really. And yeah, for the first few years of your life, Tom was like a big brother to you, wasn't he? And guess what, Dave? I got a message through from Tom, and he said to make sure that you get a sausage roll. So Tom made sure I went and got your sausage roll for you. This is from Tom. This is from Tom, mate. Hey, do you know what it is? What's this? I know it's not one of those nice warm ones that you used to get. Sausage roll. No idea if you meant to feed dogs sausage rolls, but I like pasties, and Dave seems to like pasties, so hey, why not? Oh, Dave, look. Hey, here it is. It's over here. Find it. There it is. Oh, yes, mate. Oh, come on, you can do it. Can we break up a bit? There you go. Breakfast of champions, this. This is what you get, Dave, isn't it? It's a breakfast when you've just caught a carp in January. Boom. Take it down. Hey. Those fingers. That's it. Big sausage roll done. Right, well, I'm not quite sure what to do. I don't know whether or not to pull the rods back out again and fish for a few more hours, or just I've got a pike rod with me, a little lure rod, and I just fancied having a little wander for the pike. But to be honest with you, I'm not really here for the fishing this weekend. Just here to just chill out with Dave on the bank, and yeah, I think we will put the rods out for a little bit, Dave, won't we? Do you some proper breakfast, yeah? Do some proper breakfast, and then we're fish for another hour or so. Well, I didn't get much sleep last night, so we'll get ready down for a bit, Dave, after breakfast, and then see what happens this morning, and then try and take you for a little bit of exercise up to the clubhouse and back, I reckon, Dave. Okay? Work off that sausage roll. Just want to say thank you ever so much to all the kind messages and stuff that me and Dave got through regarding this fishing trip. It's really really heartwarming, all of those messages. Anyone that's owned a dog knows sort of like knows what we're going through, sort of me and obviously the family and stuff, what we're going through. With regards to Dave, how long are you going to be around for? Judging by how fast you ate that sausage roll, I think I've got a bit of life left in you yet, but yeah. But yeah, it's getting towards that time we've got to make some tricky decisions, so thank you ever so much for all those nice messages. It really is appreciated. We're going to crack on, aren't we? Have a nice weekend. Yeah, good stuff, big man. Let's go catch another fish. Here he is, he's up and about. How you doing, Dave? Such a shame when the dogs get old. They get old really quick. And it seems like sort of, well, definitely a year ago, Dave was trotting around. Even 6 months ago, he was outside the house. He wouldn't walk very far, but he was still bowling around. But you can see by the way he's standing, he sort of like struggles on his back legs now. And where he's blind, it obviously startles him quite a lot where he's walking. But it's really nice to have him out the house and about at home, sort of like where we've got the two kids. He's got his bed in my office, and he can sort of like walk through into the lounge and out into the garden, but there's steps up into the garden now and he struggles getting up the steps. And then bless him, he keeps getting, there's like landmines, isn't there, Dave? There's all toys everywhere, hey? Are you coming in? You coming in for a cuddle? Coming in. Coming in for a cuddle. That's it. Just looking out there. There she be, the boat pool. In all winter glory. Lovely little lake, this one. Like, honestly, like, I fish quite a few waters, but I keep getting drawn to this one. Just the right sort of size. Not, I don't know how big it is. 5 acres, something like that. 3 acres. But quite deep, clear water gravel pit. Got some stunning fish inside it. Swims are really nicely laid out. Clubhouse, you've got like nice parking, secure facilities. Yeah, it's just the swims are nice, the vibe's nice. It's just a little place to come to. Very worth looking into a ticket, guys, if you're looking for a ticket. And then just behind, that's the causeway. Where's my finger? There it is. That's the causeway. The clubhouse is just sitting up in the sort of woods, in the woods there. Beautiful clubhouse. We'll go up there later on and have a little look around and do some food and stuff. And then yeah, you've got K1, Kingsmead 1, Kingsmead Island Lake, the crayfish pool, boat pool. See on the arcade ticket, you can, sorry, it's not on a gold ticket, but you can get a Raisbury ticket as well, north and south. Raisbury 2, loads of water around it, you can fish on the arcade ticket, so yeah, worth checking out. But I'm keeping an eye on this bit because you've got the right and left hand point, so obviously you can see I'm fishing the right point. The fish I had came from the left hand rod, which was out behind these trees here where I saw it show, but I also heard some fish showing right in the open water here, and it's blooming deep out there. That's like one of the deepest parts of the lake. I've definitely heard some fish rolling over last night there. And if I'm being completely honest with you, if I had my bloody bank sticks with me, I'd have probably come and moved the rod over and put a rod out here, but I left my bank sticks at home, stupidly, so what I've had to do is get the snag bars and then ram the screw threads into that bit of wood, so I didn't really have the option of moving one rod over. They had to stay there last night, but we'll see. If I see some fish showing out in this open water here, sort of roughly about where that coot is, that's where they were rolling over last night. So I've heard two or three of them I think it was, sploshing over. So keeping an eye on it. So it's not really about the fishing this trip, it's just about getting outside. I haven't fished since that Crete Lakes match end of last year. Was that November time I think it was. yeah, I haven't fished since then, so it's nice just to get the sticks back out and get a fish on the bank. Cool. So we're going into Saturday night now. I decided to stay on a second night. I can actually stay 3 nights if I wanted to. I've got the pass from home to do 3 nights and permission to fish 3 nights on the lake. Just depends how Dave's getting on, to be honest with you. It's going to be colder tonight, so I'm going to make sure that he's all kitted up with his coat and hot water bottle and stuff. Make sure he's all good. It's like a real, just a classic winter's sunset where it just, you know, the sun doesn't really, you don't get that vivid sunset. You just sort of, the colours just fall out of the sky. And yeah, it's starting to get dark. The rods are out. Changed tactic a little bit. Rather than poling out, I've just gone for 3 solid bags out there. Similar sort of areas, maybe about 5 yards further out past where I was poling it to. But the reason for that is with the wind picking up like it is, the poles are pretty tricky, sort of like getting out there with it bowing and stuff. So I decided just to go 3 solid bags, keep it nice and simple. Again, not really fishing onto any features as such. I'm not trying to find bars or clear spots or gravel or anything like that. I'm basically just slapping bags out there into the open water where I know the fish like to sit during winter time. I've got 2 rods over near where when I got here and cast out, and I sort of like cast with a leading rod just to sort of like gauge the distance of where I was fishing, and as I was feeding the lead down, I bumped into a fish in mid-water. So yeah, I know there's definitely a fish out in that area. That wind's just starting to pick up again now. I might try some zigs. That I'm tempted, because when I bumped that fish on the way down with the leading rod, it wasn't down near the bottom. It was mid-water, definitely mid-water. I actually felt the line sort of ping off the fish or bump off the fish, and then I felt the lead continue to travel down quite a way to the bottom. So that fish was sitting in mid-water when I bumped it. So, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll go and put some zigs on it in the morning, but we'll see. I'm going to leave them on the bags tonight. I'll just turn this around so you can see little Dave start. Turn my torch. There you go. There he is. Turn the torch on. There he is. He's having a snooze. He's had 2 chicken breasts. He's had his medicine, his painkillers. I'm going to get his coat on him in a minute, but he's gone to bed without his coat on at the moment, so I might wrap him up and get his hot water bottle on him. Yeah, he's having a good snooze. He's worn out from today. So Dave's in fishing mode. I'm sitting on the low chair whilst Dave's having a snooze as usual. It's interesting actually, because I always say that I fish better when I fish with Dave, or I catch more fish when I'm with Dave. And it's definitely true. Like I always, when I'm with Dave, like Dave normally has the bed chair when he used to be able to climb on it up until about 11 o'clock at night, so it would force me to sit at the front of the bivvy until like 11 o'clock on the low chair, sort of drinking tea and stuff and listening to the fish showing. And then he'd always wake me up first light or just before first light, sort of like trying to get on the bed chair, so I'd end up having to get up, he'd get on the bed chair, and then I'd sit there again, have a brew in the morning and just sort of like, you know, watch the sun rise. And quite often you'd spot fish and have fish at first light when a lot of people are sleeping. But last night was a classic example of that. Like about 2 in the morning, Dave sort of stood up and was pining, and he needed to go out to the toilet or just stretch his legs. So I put the boots on, took him out the front, he went for a wee, and I managed to settle him back down again, got his hot water bottle out and stuff, got him settled. And then I was stood at the front of the swim, and I stood at the front of the swim and just heard a fish and turn over, looked out into the water, could see the rings of where it came from. So I pulled out one of the rods onto it, which is like on the left hand side, quite a way away from where I had a rod actually. So I pulled out the left hand rod and moved it much further left, and yeah, that's the one I had the bite on. So once again, Dave managed to do the magic and get another fish on the bank. Anyway, I'm waffling on. I'll catch you guys hopefully in the morning with another big fat carp. Well, let's come to the end of our little session up here at the boat pool. It's been another enjoyable trip coming back up here. There's more and more planes in the sky now, which show that we're getting back to a little bit more normality. The main purpose was coming up here obviously for Dave, to let him have a little bit of time on the bank. and he managed 2 nights. So last night I got a little bit cold, so I'm not going to do a 3rd night with him. I think he wants to get home and snuggle in front of the radiator a little bit tonight. But no, it's been really enjoyable. I've loved getting up here. Thanks for everyone that made this happen. And yeah, we managed to bag one as well, which is cool. So yeah, we've got another fish under our belts, Dave. Funny thing is that I started packing all the kit up and he was sat outside the bivvy, and I've been trying to move him to get him out the swim and into the car, and he keeps protesting by just basically laying down as if he's to say I don't want to go, I want to stay here. Look, yeah, Dave, hey, what you saying? What you saying, boy? You enjoyed your fishing? Hey, what does that mean? Oh, you're not talking to me. You're not talking to me now. Alright, you want to stay here? There we go. Alright people, well I'll stick this up on one of my vlogs. I haven't done many vlogs recently. To be honest, I haven't been fishing very much. I'm trying to think the last fishing I did. I went over to Crete Lakes and fished the singles match over there. But where it was a match, I sort of I did a few stories and stuff, but I didn't actually put together a video of that one. But I managed to come 3rd, which was quite cool, fishing out of a lake that hadn't done, I think I'd only done 2 fish in 2 weeks or something, so I managed to come 3rd from that, which was good. And then me and Dave had a little social session over to a place called the Quarry at Bletchworth. Little quarry lake, 22 fish in it, and yeah, I managed to snare 3 of them, the only 3 fish out that week, and I think I had the biggest common and the biggest mirror in the lake on that trip as well. So I might do a little vlog and just talk to people about that, because it's pretty cool fishing and a really nice place as well, so it'd be nice to let people know about it. But for now, that's it, and I think the next time I'll be out with the carp rods will be in April, going to Rainbow, so I'll definitely make a video of that, going out there with Rob Greening again. But yeah, for now, it's goodbye from me. Davey, you gonna say goodbye? Hey, let me turn it around. There you go. Dave, the carp dog. Hey. This might have been your last session on the bank, I think, big man. We'll see. If you're still around when the weather gets a bit warmer, we might get up linear or something, fish out the van. Bit of comfort for you, bud, yeah? Hey? But for now, it's goodbye from me, and goodbye from Dave.